the women are noticing. They're noticing you're not approaching them anymore. You're not buying drinks. You're not so ready to pay for these expensive dates. You're actually asking for 50-50. Men are standing up and saying, I would like something in return. So the women are scrambling to figure it out before they end up old and alone and childless, like a lot of the millennials and Gen X have. We're going to talk about that today. I'm going to show you some evidence of the many women out there that are actually standing up for you and, dare I say, having empathy for men. It's about time. Welcome back to Far From Eden. I think the first stage in women waking up, if they haven't been taught properly from the beginning, which is extremely rare to find. I've only found one when I've been searching for unicorns for you guys. I found Hannah. There's an interview with her from, I don't know, several months back. So if they're not taught right from the beginning, how can they figure this stuff out? I think the first step is understanding that feminism is just a great big lie. This lady is going to, she says it so well about how we kind of, what we realize about it. And it's not enough realizing feminism has lied to us women. It's not enough, because that in and of itself does not teach us to have empathy for men. And it's horrible that we have to be taught. But as I've said in earlier videos, you have to teach little girls empathy from the very beginning. Otherwise, you know, it takes events in our lives to sort of force it. And as you guys know, from the women that you have known, both ones you're related to and otherwise, many women never wake up to the idea of having empathy for you and understanding that you do get hurt, have hearts, you love very deeply, and that's shameful and terrible for you guys. But good news is some women are waking up and they're trying to alert the other women, because that's the only way it's going to work. You know that we don't listen to you guys.
Want to know something wild? Women traded family for a 9-to-5 and then they called it liberation. Just think about it for a second. Our grandmothers prayed for husbands so that they could work hard, raise kids, and build a strong home. That was the dream: security, love, and purpose. Then feminism came along, told women that being a wife and being a mother is oppressive. So what did we do? We left the home to work for men that don't love us at companies that will replace us the second we get burnt out. That's not freedom, that is slavery in heels. Feminism convinced women that family is a cage and working for a corporate job is empowerment. Tell me this: why do so many women hit 30, are alone, exhausted, and wondering why they feel so empty? It's because you can't outsmart God's design. No promotion will ever replace a husband that loves you and children who adore you. So no, I'm not anti-woman, I'm pro-woman, and pro-woman enough to tell you the truth. Real freedom isn't in a cubicle or a nurse's station, it's in building a legacy. So go forth and multiply.
Yes. And again, she is touching upon, you know, it's work to build a home, it's work to serve your family. She's touching upon that. Falling short, in my opinion, of what that actually looks like, but it's a short TikTok. So she has a whole TikTok full of videos like this, as do many other women. And thank goodness, because you know how we are. We like the trends. We listen to each other. This gives me hope. Here is where it's a good example of a man making a TikTok directly responding to a woman who is saying, serious question for the men. Because that opens a door. It's like, you ask the question. And I know it shouldn't be that way. We should just listen to you guys. But clearly we don't. We've got to get these women from here to here, where they're completely entrenched in the feminist lies and everything, and they don't really think about what they bring to the table, how they can add value to a man's life, and certainly not extract value and all be about extracting value from your life, thinking that you're an ATM machine or just a wallet. So if this lovely young lady is kind of there in that headspace and all she can think of is, I'm single, I want a man, it allows an opening for a man to answer that question. And in our brains, you can't get mad at that because you ask the question. So you open the door. So it's a very effective way to reach some women. Now, it's like the Matrix. Remember, you can't wake everybody up. There are just some people that cannot be woken up. The Matrix movie from 1999. And that's true. But there are a lot of them that can actually be woken up.
A genuine question for men. Do you like being single? Because me, I'm not enjoying it.
Hell yeah, I like being single. Check out that yard. Doing that yard work in the middle of the day after the gym. I need some water. I'm going to show you why we're enjoying being single. Now listen, other than the water, what do you hear? That's right. You don't hear no bitching, no griping. I have to come and get the water that I had to get while in a relationship doing yard work. I'm getting my water just like I had to do then. Laundry is done. I got to put it in the dryer. Dishes are drying. Yard's getting done. And I'm not getting bitched at. I'm not getting yelled at. I'm not being told that the cabinets aren't good enough. The house ain't big enough. That we don't go on, extravagant vacations. It's peaceful. And then when I get done, when I'm cleaned up, I'm going to then switch over. I'm going to dry the laundry. I'm going to, get the dishes put up, probably put on a show or a movie, cook some dinner. And then things are good. Take a shower, get nice and clean, and peace.
Peace, right? Men are protecting their peace. And he makes a great point. He would have to do that anyway in a modern marriage. He'd have to do the yard and come in and get his own water. There's no wife coming out to bring him a cold beverage and give him a kiss and, cooking dinner, honey, what would you like for dinner? There's none of that. So what's in it for him to have one of those around? Also, all the griping. Men don't want that. And it's awesome that he's making that point. Because women, if you're being honest with yourselves, he's describing what we do. What we've been doing for several generations and been getting away with it. And then having the nerve to say, I'm not happy. I think I'll take half your stuff and your children. That's the other thing. He doesn't have to worry about risking any of that. Peace. Peace is worth more to men than just about anything. And they're realizing that a good way to have that is to not have one of us. It's just the truth. Probably they would prefer to have a good one of us that brings even more peace. I know you guys are like, how? We used to, probably back before the 20th century, because I think that's when the griping started. But we can add peace, we can add value, but unless and until we start doing that, the men are not interested. And that is what is waking women up. And it's amazing. I can't believe how quickly it's happening. I predicted this on this channel a couple of years ago. I did not think it would be starting to happen this quickly. So let's keep watching and seeing all the waking up. The idea for empathy for men and that women need more of it, and to see how our behavior is destructive to ourselves, is seeping out into further into the mainstream. Tim Pool has a giant channel on YouTube. I know a lot of you guys don't agree with the stuff he says, but my point of showing it is that he has a broad audience. He is not in the manosphere. He's going to cover the things that are trending, the things that are important to people. And the fact that he had a whole feminism debate on Friday is a signal to me that this is on the minds of many. And it's growing. Between Tim Pool, Steven Crowder, I know he's more on the fringe too, but he's covering this stuff a lot more. He's lending credence to what the manosphere has been saying, rather than kind of simping out like a lot of the church guys do. So Myron, in the debate on Friday, he's basically educating these women. It's more of that, in my point of view, than it is a debate. These women are getting educated. Women in the audience are getting educated, whether they like it or not. Oh gosh, I enjoy it way too much, I think.
I'm just saying, like, this is just the honest reality when it comes to like how women deal with men and how men deal with women. Like, men have to understand women, whereas women don't really have to understand men to be able to get the same access. Right.
But if they understood women better, they'd probably have longer marriages and women would be leaving them less often, I'm assuming, right? Because women cite the same reasons over and over for why they end the marriages, even though I would argue to women, like there should probably be more.
Women end relationships a lot of times because they have this concept that they should always be happy, and that overrides duty to the family. So that's another reason too why women end marriages and relationships, because we tell women that their happiness overrides everything, and they'll be like, oh, you know what, I could do better. Like, women have this perpetual, the grass is greener on the other side. I could do better. I can do better.
It's usually I could do better without. Well, it's usually why they're leaving men. They don't say.
Either way, see, they change the subject. That's not the idea, lady. Doesn't matter what you think you can do better. She's proving the point. Yeah, the grass is greener. Doesn't matter why you think the grass is greener. It's that you think it's greener. And by the way, it's usually not greener. But they have to try to make their argument work. What is she doing here? Justifying leaving a family, breaking up a family, because feelings. Very, very little should come above, actually nothing should come above your duty to your family. That is your number one priority. The other thing women do to justify the behavior of destroying the family is they say, well, my kids deserve a happy mom. I'm not going to be a good mother to them if I'm unhappy. Well, that's a choice, isn't it? Being happy is a choice, and being a good mother is a choice. Leaving, taking the kids away from their father is not being a good mother. But you watch her flip around Simone Biles style with her mental gymnastics, trying to justify something that is absolutely egregious and is destroying men, and has been for decades since no-fault divorce.
I can find a new man who's better. They say, I'd rather be single than fucking put up with this shit.
I
That's usually why women leave men.
Yeah, I have a stupid, uninformed hypothesis where I think women will average at a slight state of discontent relative to men. And the reason why I think that might be is that imagine there's two tribal, plains, savanna-dwelling humans, two tribes. And in one, the woman is always content with what is. So the guy comes back and says, hey, I caught us some fish. We have food for the day. And she goes, that's perfect. The other woman in the other tribe is, no matter what happens, she's always a little unhappy and demanding more of the man. So he says, I brought enough fish for food. And she goes, why am I only getting 2 fish? This is bullshit. I want 3 fish. And he goes, okay, I'll go get you more fish. Geez, calm down. One day, there's a famine. The woman who was always complaining has more and survives. And the woman who is content does not. This is not to dig on women. I'm saying that women are demanding of their men because they want to survive. And so they
Yes.
constantly expect more from men.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes,
Did you hear a little bit in the audience, a little grumbling? I did. Because, yeah, he's simping out. He's simping out right there. And that's typical, but it's actually a good thing because then it allows to continue the discussion. We need to dig into this and pull apart the arguments because the truth will always rise to the top. That's why all of this is happening. Because the truth is on your all side. The truth is not on these women's side.
like I've said this, women get mad at me when I say this, but like women are literally designed to extract value from men. Like that is what they're designed to do.
What
We're
you're
designed
saying
to
is-
provide value. Their values that they're what they do is extract value. This is why
And men are designed to tell women no.
But
like,
you don't got to say it in such like a dick way. You know what I mean?
yeah, but it's the
Amber,
truth.
what do you have to
It's
say,
the truth.
Amber?
This is why women.
Well, you're
like,
asking
this
her
is
to
why we
commit
don't
18
care.
years of her life and to carry a body that is destructive to our body. Being able to bear a child is like
We understand. we
annihilates
It
our
is
body.
hard.
But
Well, when you're
the
saying
point I'm
we're
trying
women,
to make is that women are
The idea that it annihilates your body, that's a feminist lie. Why? Annihilates it in what way? That you can't go, what, you can't have your OF account anymore because you're going to have stretch marks or you're going, whatever. It's actually a beautiful thing. To look at pregnancy and children that way is absolutely feminist. She is one that probably cannot be woken up, which is another reason to show this because I need to show both sides of what women you can trust and what women you can't. And she'll even talk about her husband, and it sounds good, but it's a trap.
literally designed to extract value from men.
but you're
This is why
narrativizing it
when
in a way that I think is unfair.
This is why when a woman makes more money than her man, she starts to think like, what the hell's going on here? Like women are not designed to provide long-term
But
provisioning to a man.
that's
It's
only
not designed.
true. That's only true that when women earn more than their male partners, that it's a problem for the relationship. If the male has a very traditional view of masculinity, and she does too, the moment that you remove a traditional view of masculinity, where, for example, the woman goes like, I'm the breadwinner, and that's totally fine with me, suddenly the relationship's completely balanced out.
Notice they can always say, oh, well, that's if you're, programmed socially to have this traditional mindset. Otherwise, it's fine. As if the feminism part and the no empathy for men isn't social programming. She has it backwards, as many of these women do who are programmed, because that's what the overlords want. That's what has disenfranchised you guys. That is what has destroyed the morale of so many men and led to even, worse things that I can't say on YouTube. But thankfully, many of you were like, I'm not going to let that eat me up. I'm not going to let that happen because I'm just going to walk away. I can find peace without them. So let's look at more of the women who have woken up. I'm including this TikTok video because it's on the topic, but also it was sent to me by a male family member of mine who was married, got divorced. She extracted value from him while they were married, spent the money, his money, didn't take care of the house, didn't mother their children. She kept them alive, I suppose. And then, divorced him and complained, oh, by the way, complained that he was not home enough, because he kept having to work to, feed her spending habits. So the divorce and the losing his kids, he has visitation, but as Terrence Popp says, that does not a father make, because it's very not that much time at all. He went through a very, very rough time. He almost didn't make it through that time. And that's another reason I'm here. That's a big reason why I'm here, saying the things I say, speaking out against the women I speak out against. Those women aren't happy. His ex-wife is not happy. Her life's a mess. She is not at peace. She is not happy. She is all the chaos and misery she was in the marriage, before the marriage. Back then, he thought can turn a 304 into a housewife. Didn't, like many of you, didn't know much better. Thought, well, they'll grow out of it. Oh, now she's a married woman, or she's put that life behind her. Y'all have realized now when you're asking about body counts and things like that, because it matters later. Can't just all of a sudden change. That's why you got to be careful of the women in church. But anyway, let's get into the video that he sent me. That he says this woman in particular makes a lot of sense to him. It's things that he's so glad women are saying. So if he's glad, I'm glad. And I thought some of you may be glad too.
Why is it that the women who demand princess treatment are actually the ones who deserve to be treated like a peasant because that's how they act? This is going to be a controversial post. I'm probably going to get a load of hate from women, but all I see on social media is young girls demanding princess treatment. They're like, oh, princess treatment. I need you to pay for my nails. I need you to pay £300, £400 to take me out for dinner. I need this, I need that. You basically should worship the ground I walk on. You should literally walk along with a gold carpet, red carpet laid out for me because I am that special. I am that perfect. But it's the women that demand this, the girls that demand this, that actually treat men like absolute crap. They give absolutely nothing in return. And again, before I get a lot of hate for saying this isn't all women. Of course, it's not all women. But it just seems to be that today's generation coming up now, women are just entitled, and they just demand this princess treatment.
Oh, it's more than that. They're calling it princess treatment now, but trust me, this has been going on. I think the boomers had women like this. I don't think it was to this extent. I don't think they spent the money on themselves the way the women do now, but the attitude was the same. But this women shaming other women, better women calling out the bad ones, the bad behavior, the unacceptable treatment of men, that is how we're going to pull out of this mess. I'm still not hopeful that we can turn it all around, but I am hopeful that we can turn some of it around.
Treatment. And if you mention king treatment to them, oh my God, don't even put in the search thing of TikTok king treatment because you'll just get a load of women bashing men, basically. But princess treatment, treat me like a queen, treat me like a princess. Women just think that they are entitled to this, whatever they act, even though they act like they deserve nothing. They're not nice to the men. They don't treat them nicely with respect or with any sort of, just common decency, but they demand princess treatment. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you give women princess treatment? Do you think women deserve princess treatment? Have you dated someone who's demanded princess treatment? And yeah, sorry no sundress today. It's boiling hot and I was doing some gardening. I've got my live today at 12:30, by the way, so please tune in. It's going to be a good one.
Again, she stands up. She's got her midriff showing. We're not perfect. We're not there yet. Obviously, it's a bit of showing off. Look at my teeny little waist. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. It's a work in progress to get us all the way woken up, but I am going to celebrate small victories. And the next lady I'm going to show you she's a great warrior on our side. She is really calling it out. So let's take a look at that. Jedediah Bila. I don't know how she got woken up. It would be amazing to interview her and ask her, okay, what was the process of how you started seeing all of this? A lot of us have men in our lives, like I was saying earlier about the man in my family, that you see what they go through. And it wakes you up and suddenly you see it everywhere. So I'd really love to know what her kind of origin story into this red pill truth is. But I absolutely love her because she is, let's just watch her.
You better pay attention to me tonight. I'm so sick of this. Oh my God. Touch a boob, buy a drink. I mean, it's like very simple.
She's so mad. Okay, why is she mad? Well, because she got all dolled up. See that tight fitted orange dress, right? Did her hair, went to the nail salon, got a special little mani pedi, maybe did a little waxing because she thought she was going to get funky that night, right? And she went out, and no one is giving her any time. Attractive girl. So she's like, what is going on? She goes home, she looks in the mirror, she's like, making sure. She's like, no, I look good, right? Asks her friends, like, is this look? Oh yeah, you look amazing, which they'll say even if she doesn't look amazing. But honey, any guy would be just so lucky to have you. I know, right? And like, her and all her friends are just like, why? I told you, guys are tired. Guys are tired of you. They're
Also, a couple days ago, I covered that the cops in Surrey, England, are pretending to be joggers and then catching the cat callers because they're going to be the violent ones that are going to assault them, whatever. And this chick in the orange dress is mad. She even said, touch a chesticle. Lady, isn't that what y'all complain about all the time? Yes, like that would be assault, wouldn't it? And she's probably being hyperbolic, but still. Men are like, what are you saying? This is why we don't even talk to you, because you can't express anything honest.
tired of you pretending to want to take them seriously when you really just want the free drinks. They're tired of going up to you and you being like, thanks for the drink, doing this game you do. Tired. They're tired of the takers. They're tired. They don't want to deal with any of that. They're tired of, you meet all of these qualifications, right? You got all the qualifications, and she's talking to you and she's like, oh, but there's this one thing. He has a boat and it's red, and I don't like the color red. Oh, right? Because they feel like they can be so picky that they've got everything met, but they can just nitpick about everything, right? They're tired of you. You want guys to come up to you, change your attitude, change your strategy, treat them differently, and that's going to happen over a long period of time, right? It took decades to get here. Guys finally saying, I am done with you. And social media played a big part because now they go on socials and they see women talking all their crap. So they're like, oh, I know what's going on now behind the scenes. When I walk away after buying you that drink, I know you're making a fool out of me. They're like, I'm done. You're going to make a fool out of me.
We have revealed our nature. And the men are realizing, oh, it's not just my ex-girlfriend. It's not just my ex-wife. It's not me that have been on these dates and looking at, oh God, maybe it's something wrong with me. And that's a big reason for this channel too. It's like, it's not you guys. It wasn't you. It wasn't you with your ex-girlfriend. It wasn't you in your marriage. I understand there are exceptions, but generally speaking, it's not you guys. And that is the awesome thing about social media. And especially with women coming up and saying it to you now too, you're like, yeah, it wasn't me. And that helps the depression rates, everything, because men are so overly accountable. You guys are always looking at, well, what did I do? And because then you can fix it. It's the opposite of what we do, right? We're always looking to externalize blame. You guys are internalizing all of it. And we definitely need a reverse of those two things.
Honey, now I'm going to make a fool out of you. I'm going to sit at that bar. I'm going to drink my scotch. I'm not buying you nothing. I'm not even looking your way. That's what's going on. Change your attitude. It's going to take a long time for guys to feel like you've changed genuinely, and then you'll see. But for now, especially in the cities, guys are just sitting back with their drink, and they're just letting this drama unfold. It's hilarious. It's like, they're frazzled cats. Frazzled cats. Ooh, very entertaining. All right. This one also went extremely viral on, I think it was TikTok. It is TikTok. Okay. Single girl, 30 years old. Just pay attention to her expression and how do you think this woman is actually feeling? Let's listen to it.
Oh, she gave us a cliffhanger for her show. But hey, I don't hate on that, Jedediah, because more and more people need to listen, especially women. And I think they are. I think women are listening to other women and going, oh, if I ever want to have a family, I need to rethink some stuff. Shame works with us because we're such herd animals. We so want to be accepted by the group. And when we realize that something that we're doing is making it so we are not, we change because our nature is a real thing. It is unchanging. It has not changed since the beginning of time, in that garden with the snake and the fruit. It's the same. And if you ever notice, the elites try to cover that up. Psychology tries to cover that up. But the truth rises to the top. And that's what's happening right now. So oftentimes, before one of us who is pro-man and actually loves men, before we're going to say something, so often we go, now, this doesn't mean I hate women. I love women. Now, this is going to get me in trouble. Here come the bad comments, because we know the backlash against other women is huge. But so many of us women are saying it anyway. We're saying it anyway because it's that important to us. So for all the men out there, and I get it, I get why you wouldn't trust us. For all the men out there saying you're a grifter, you're just doing this for the money, whatever. Like, no, I'm making a living, but I'm doing what I'm passionate about, and I'm doing what's important. And I'm doing something that will lose me friends, that will make people judge me and say things like, and this is true, I didn't know Aaron had those viewpoints. Or just lose friends entirely. Or have a family member, even though that person happens to be male, not speak to you anymore because of the very difficult things you've said that may call out women in their lives. Not everybody's ready to wake up, even some of the men. This woman, what she says is absolutely beautiful.
And this one's going to get me in trouble, but bear with me. This is coming from a good place, but this is my hot take. I have heard, especially recently, time and time again, many a time, women talk about how much they miss an alpha masculine man. And I want a man to come and do this for me and provide and take care of me. And I'm tired and I fell for the feminism and the working and I'm exhausted and I want to have kids. And that whole tune that we've been hearing, I've heard it a lot. And I sympathize and I understand a lot and I empathize. But I seldom hear them say, and this is what I will give.
Never.
Daddy, can you relax? I'm on a roll here, okay? But I hear it a lot of what they want to receive, and I get it. But what are you gonna give? You know? And then when I ask them, it's always like, oh, I'll make him a home. Baby girl, do you even know what that entails? Do you know the dedication, the work, the commitment, the sacrifice, the selflessness that it takes to give a man a home, to give yourself a home? It's a lot of hard work.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And a big part of that hard work is also, as we would say, as a Christ follower, dying of self, breaking down that pride, having humility, thinking of others first. That's what it takes. It takes it every day. Is anybody going to be perfect? No, of course not. Of course not. But that's what it takes. And that's why so many of us fail. All right, let's finish off with one of my favorites on TikTok. I think this next lady, I think it's really effective. And here's why. Because I think she's going to get through to a lot of other women, because she's not the, stereotypical trad wife with the sundress and no tattoos and everything. Now, I get that that's the direction we'd like to head, at least in my little house on the prairie mentality. But you have to meet people where they are. And I'm not talking you guys, women who are trying to wake up other women. You have to meet them where they are. And this next lady's kind of foul mouth, her tattoos. I think that she can be an effective way to wake up many of the ones that are put off by the idea of a trad wife, because they already have it in their head. Oh, you're just, a slave to your man. You have no personality. You have no agency. This next lady, they're not going to be able to have that argument against her. And it's not enough to, when we're convincing women, it's not enough to have a really good argument. Defense. Because they're going to come at you and they're going to, you know, ad hominem and accuse and call you a slave. You've seen it when the whatever chicks go after, you know, or anybody, Rachel Wilson, any woman, Rachel Wilson debates. Oh, you're saying your husband. No. And then she's like, well, I've written a book, I have a Substack, you know. So you have to deflect those things. And once you show them, no, I'm actually quite intelligent and have viewpoints, then they're like, oh gosh, that destroys my entire argument. So let's look at this next lady. She has this phrase she starts every video with, which is true. And I actually had a video that I put this on the thumbnail, censored, of course. But you do have to satisfy him, feed him, and leave him alone. That's the job specification. That's a wife. You don't want to be a wife? Don't be a wife. But don't say you're going to be a wife and then not be a wife. This lady is just, she's just coming after. She's just coming after modern women. Oh.
Fucking feed and leave them alone. If I see one more account on here that's like, men can't handle marriage, men can't handle me, men can't handle women. You want to know what they fucking can't handle, Barbara, is being lied to, being given ultimatums, treated like an ATM, and like less than a fucking person, and they can't even parent their own children because you have a problem with everything they fucking do. That is what they have a problem with. They have an issue with the second you guys start dating, it's like roses and butterflies and unicorns and oh look, she's not crazy. Then you get the ring, you stop fucking them, and then you get married and you still don't fuck them, and you yell at him for every little thing and you just grind them down into a fucking nub. That's why they're not getting married. It's not that they can't handle marriage, Karen. They can't handle you and your psychotic fucking multiple personality disorder, not cooking, not cleaning, flirting with every other guy in town, but you won't give your husband the fucking time of day. And seeking validation on fucking social media from your family because you run to them with all of your problems instead of keeping it in the marriage. That's what they have an issue with.
Yep, exactly. And that kind of shaming and chastising and just saying it like that is going to be effective with modern women. It just is. They need to hear it like that. They need somebody to speak to them kind of the way they speak. Now, it's only us that can do it. And I'm here for it. I get that a lot of women don't watch my channel, but the goal is to begin to reach out to them and teach them in the way that this lady does. Well, maybe not in the exact way. And Jedediah, because they need the education. They absolutely do. And I think that they should be embarrassed with how they have been treating men. But the good news is it's showing signs of, at least in some places, turning around. Are the cities savable? It's like Jedediah said, like, especially in the cities. Yeah, because the women in the cities are worse. They're just worse. They have less connection to tradition and family. Because you go to the city, or when you live in the city, it's going to be more about career, you know, getting your own apartment, less about, let me think about, you know, the traditional values and things like that, which you're going to see more in rural places. So there is some hope out there. At least hope that in general, people will start seeing men again as humans. And it's been a very long time since we did that as a society. We're fighting, though, against not just women, not just feminism, but those who enabled feminism, those who propped it up, those elites who benefit from it, and all the ideologies that become possible, open borders, gender fluidity, all of these things are more of a, let's just say women support these things more. And so it's an uphill battle. But remember, we have truth on our side. And truth is very powerful. And having faith in that is a good thing. It's a good thing. So I know it's hard not to be black-pilled. I get that. But there's always hope. You were made in the image of God. You were. And God is truth. So even if you don't experience a lot of the truth in your life, it's there even if you can't feel it. It's there eternally. And this right here is not all there is. So hold strong to that. You guys, protect your peace. Hold on to that hope. Feed your souls. I love you, and I'll see you on the next one. Don't forget, this week's fairy tale is on the Literary Archaeology channel for the first time. Also, over on Locals, on my Locals page, we are having a special fairy tale that I cannot read on this platform. It's not safe for this platform. And I don't even want to say the title. I put it in the community and I censored the spelling. So that's all I'll say on that. Come over, join us on Locals. It's only $5 a month. I'm adding more and more content every week. And it's a great place to hang out and say whatever we want to say. So I love you guys. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Okay? Bye.